Okay, so I wanted to go down through the process of actually recording a piece of audio from the very, very beginning. So I don't have an idea. But we're asking, right, like the top limit is going to be like 120 interactions, right? So some of it, I imagine that a lot of it is just going to be like on the spot thinking, but however you guys want to go about the process. So the idea is that every single interaction is going to be from a faction, right? Like every single person is from a type of faction, and we have the different factions over here. We have clergy, commoners, crown, guilds, merchants, nobility, outcasts, outlanders, scholars, and soldiers. So in order to create an interaction, we have to have um, a main explanation. That explanation is going to be what the NPC is asking for, and then we're going to need responses for each option that the player has. So for a random interaction, I think it was something like three different responses per option. So we could go through. Let's make up something right now. So we have a commoner. So he's a commoner. So we'll say oh, actually, and we can even go over here into the models and we can like look at which character do we think would fit for whatever idea you have. So this is a good idea. This guy looks like a good commoner guy. So he is E2. So this guy's E2 because he's in the E file and this is the file, right? He's in the 2 file and he's in the E column. I think that's the correct term. So we could say, okay, I have an idea for this guy. He's going to be a commoner. And these are the types of things that we can do for an interaction. So let's say that he's just asking for some gold. So him asking for some gold is probably going to obviously reduce some of the gold that the player has. So that's the amount of money in the treasury. And then it probably will increase the favor rating for that faction because we have a commoner going into the faction and going like, hey, let's ask some gold, right? It's like, oh, I want some gold. And then he's like, okay, here's some gold. So we can just set it as like, okay, if we give him gold, they like him, the commoners faction will like the player more, and if not, then they'll like him less. So it's really simple interaction. So we can go ahead and set that up, or let's start recording that. Okay, let's start. We could say, sure, this is gonna be beggar, commoner, whatever. Okay, and then we just have something. Then you record your line. Oi, sire, I've got a question for you. Oi, do you mind sparing some coin for you? Do you mind sparing some coin? Fuck, sorry. Do you mind sparing some coin for ye? For ye? I don't know. Okay, good enough. Then we can say there's 2 different options, right? So the option is either going to be yes or it's going to be no. So if the player says yes, then we could just do something like, "Oh, all right, I really appreciate that." Okay, so thank you very much, sire. So that's 2 different responses, and then a third response if they say yes. It could even be the exact same line. Because, oh, I really appreciate that, sire. So it's a little bit of a different take. Now we need 3 lines for if they say no. Oh, all right. Okay, so he's a little bit upset. Another take. Oh, all right. It's a little sad, whatever. And then we have the last take as well. Oh, yeah. That ain't right, sire. Okay, simple. I'm not British, so it probably sounds terrible. But we have so many different interactions. We to do quality control on all of them, or how do I say this? We have so many different interactions to really expect perfection out of all of them is not really the goal here, right? We're trying to have a lot of interactions, and it being a little bit scuffed, I think, is part of the fun. Because this is like we're just like recording, you know. Let's make it simple. Let's record. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and cut out the bits that we want. Okay, so we already are. Here, let's go over here. Okay, so this is peaking. Terrible, really bad. But like I said, if it's a little bit scuffed in the actual game, chances are we're not going to be able to actually hear that peaking. So I know if we were doing like an audiobook or something and we're like actually recording, like a little thing like that, it is not, in my opinion, worth it to go back just because we have to go through so many of these to actually try to re-record it. So if it's like peaking like how it is over here and the audio quality sounds a little bit bad, just go with it, you know? It's fine. It's like it's already recorded. Let's just cut it up, toss it in. This isn't me to say the audio quality doesn't matter. I want the audio quality to be as good as possible, but I also want like a good number of interactions, right? So if you say, oh man, the audio is peaking, check that for next time. For next interaction, okay, let's make sure that our mic is not peaking. Let's move on. But for now, we already recorded it. It's good enough. The quality isn't going to be too noticeable when we're actually in game, and we have probably some music playing and probably some like wah-wahs or whatever you call it in the background of people talking. It's going to mix in. It's not going to be super noticeable, okay? All right. Okay, let's just cut that out. And because we're actually doing real-time games, we don't want any spaces in the beginning. Good enough. Let's go ahead and export this. How do we export from here? Let's go edit. And then I think we can just export. Can we just do file? Let's see. Let's send it to desktop. Send it to videos just because that's where I save everything. Okay. And hopefully if we go to videos, that'll just be fine. Videos. Where is it at? No, I recorded the whole thing. I thought there was a way to like export just this specific part. Sorry, this is, you guys will probably have a better time with actually edit, file, save selection as, there we go. Okay. So, in terms of naming, the way that I want you, this is actually just a suggestion because you guys are actually going to be implementing it, right? So you don't have to follow this naming convention, but I would actually recommend this a lot. Go ahead and name the very beginning of it is going to be the model name. So we're going to see E2. E2, that's the model ID. So we found that because we're on the E file, and 2, that's the model that we're trying to go for. Then is going to be what it is. In this case, it's the main explanation, right? So we just type in main, and then we'll give a little blurb about what this file is. So it's a commoner beggar. And then that's it. So let's go ahead and let's save this. Perfect. Good enough. We're sending it through. All right, good enough. Okay, let's cut out all this. Okay. Perfect. Control Alt S, right? Perfect. So it's going to be E2. So in this case, what type of response is it? It's going to be a response, and it's going to be for the first option, and it's going to be, so it's R1. It's going to be the first type of response. So it's a response for the first option, so that's R1. And then the first variation is going to be A. And then again, beggar, I don't know how to spell it. Beggar, commoner. Just like that. So E2 R1A, beggar, commoner. And then we're going to press OK. Okay, then we got our second one. Control Alt S. And then again, E2 R response 1. So that's because this is the first option of the player saying yes. And then we're going to do B because this is the second variation. And then again, commoner, beggar, commoner. Probably having like a more consistent spelling would probably be good for you guys. Sorry. Okay. So we have another one. I really appreciate that, sire. So let's control this. E2, response 1C, commoner, beggar. The little blurb section is so bad. Okay. Okay, so now, okay, so that's our 3 lines. Okay. Don't want it to be too long. Okay. So let's do E2. That's the model ID. Response 2 this time. And this is the first variation. It's going to be commoner, beggar. Okay. Save that. Okay, then we have another one. Okay, E2, commoner, beggar. And I forgot. This is going to be for response 2. And this is the second variation, so that's going to be B. Okay, save. And I think we missed one. Okay, so that was okay, it's a little bit weird that I'm breathing so heavily there. Okay, let's go ahead and save this one. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and save this, and this is going to be our third variation. So it's going to be E2 response 2C, commoner, beggar. Okay, then we save that, and then let's just verify that they're all different. Let's go to videos. Okay, so now we have this. We have E2. This is our main, commoner, beggar. beggar, commoner. They're a little bit of bad at naming convention because they're not the same, but it's fine. You guys are going to be implementing it, right? So we have this one. Let's take a listen. Okay, good. And then I believe for the response 2, A and C should be the same line. Okay, so that one got cut off a bit, so we have to find that one. That was a mistake. Yeah, needs the ending bit on that one. So let's go ahead and find that file. This is going to be the first. Let's listen to it. Let's not overwrite it. Okay, so let's go ahead and that's the actual one. So it's going to be R2A. So it's E2 R2A. So, yep, overwrite. Perfect. And now we go back here. Okay, E2 R2A. Good. Perfect. This one. So we're cutting out the last sections. We don't want it to be, that's like too much, right? We don't want it to be that. That's too bad, you know? That's not good enough. Okay, save. Yes. So let's listen to that. That's good. This is going to be a second. Okay. Yep. All right. And let's take a listen to those again. Just make sure that they're good. 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 And then let's listen to this one. Okay, good. Perfect. Okay. So that's good. Let's go back into our project. And then we have, right, the setup that we have is that you guys should have a folder that's like the template. But I'm going to go ahead and make it from scratch over here. It's a little bit small, but hopefully this should be fine. Let's go ahead and do beggar commoner. Okay. We're going to create a new, the way we created a folder, again, we're going to right click, go to the very top, then go to folder. It's at the very, very top. So that's how we create it. And then you could just double click into it and that will rename it. And then you could fast double click into it and then that will enter it. Slow double click to rename and fast double click to enter. Okay, now we're in here. We're going to right click, go to the very top, go down to story tools, and then go to interactions. And then that's going to pop up this screen. And again, I recommend once you get to here, go ahead and click this lock button. If it doesn't allow you to actually click into it, like for example, if it's like this, make sure that it's not locked. So if you click on this and this doesn't change, again, make sure that it's not locked. So you could do a quick unlock and then lock, and then it should populate to the correct screen. Now that we're inside of the beggars, commoners, we're going to create a new folder, and this is just going to hold all of the audio for this specific interaction. So let's go ahead and drag in this interaction into here. Okay. And now that we named it correctly, we know, okay, this is the main one. So we're going to drag it in. And the way it might look like this. So we have the model ID. Of course, we already have that right here. It's going to be E2. So we're going to go down to E2. Pull this up. And then we're going to drag in the main into this explanation. And we can actually go ahead and click on this. And it will automatically play. If you don't see this, if you click on it and you don't see it automatically playing, you can double click on this name down here. And then you can click this play button, and there's a repeat button over here as well. So we're just going to have to type it in. I've got a question for ye. Do you mind sparing some coin for ye? Easy. This is the entering walk animation. So we're going to click and say, probably a normal walk is fine. We're going to click an option. So in the options panel, you'll see there is this options, and you're going to see it says empty. We're just going to click the plus button next to that. And then we're going to click over here where it says option text. And this option text is going to be what the player actually clicks on in order to actually, like, the actual button of what it clicks. So we'll say, sure, take some gold. Okay. Then we're going to click on this response, and this should pop up. Again, we're going to toss this in. This is the E2, so that's a model. Response 1A, so this is going to be the first variation. He's probably going to walk away happy. So we have the walk animation is going to be happy because we said yes to him, right? I don't remember what this line was, so let's go ahead and click on it. And in order to play again, we just click this play button. All right. I really appreciate that. Okay. And he's happy. Now, this is going to be the first variation, right? So we're going to click on this responses again. And now you'll see that we have two of these drop downs. So we have the E2 R1A beggar commoner. And then we're going to drag in E2 R1B because this is a second variation. Let's go ahead and click on that. Thank you very much, sire. Okay, and let's set that to happy again. And then in the responses again, because we have three variations, we're going to click a plus, and then that's going to populate another one. And we're going to drag this in, and then let's go ahead and play it. I really appreciate that, sire. Okay. And then again, this is going to be happy. So this is if we say yes. So I'm just going to go over the audio and how to do that. Now this is our sure take some gold option. Let's go ahead and add in a new option. And then you'll see this new UI pops up. So in order to actually go to the new option, we're going to click on this little arrow. And then that should pop up this section. If you're not on the NPC responses, you'll just have to go to the NPC responses, click on this plus, and again, it'll pop up. And then let's listen to this one. And if you wanted to autoplay, go ahead and click on this button. Oh, all right. So that's this one. Let's go ahead and drop that in. And then it's a little sad, so we'll put in the sad walk animation. Let's go ahead and do another drop down, and we're going to click on it, and you'll see this time when we click on it, because we enabled this autoplay option, it'll play automatically. That ain't right, sire. And we'll go ahead and toss this in, and then we'll walk away. This one, he actually doesn't sound that sad and more angry, so we'll walk away normal, right? And then we'll give another option. And then this is going to be, all right. Again, same line, but different variation. This one also doesn't sound as sad, so we're going to keep it normal. So that is how we do the audio. The next section is going to be how we can actually implement the consequences for the factions and for the kingdom. But this is just getting the audio and the text inputted. And again, we have two options. So we have, oh, and we did not write the option text. So we could say over here, option text is going to be, because we're denying him, request denied, right? And then that's what the player is actually going to click on. So if we want to go back to the first one, we're going to click this little arrow, or we can change it from a 1 to 2. This is 2 to 1, and you'll see this changes it over here. And then we have the faction consequence and kingdom. Okay, anyways, so this is how we implement the audio and the text, okay? So let me go ahead and stop it here. And next section, I'm going to show you how to... also, by the way, this is an example of the minimum requirement for a random interaction. So you have explanation, 3 variations for 2 different types of responses. So we have a yes response, a no response, and we also have the main explanation. And that's it. Okay, let me go ahead and stop this.